Hello, this is Craig Henley, Mr. Insurance, and this is Coverage Explained. Quite frequently I'm asked, Craig, do I need to buy the rental insurance when I'm going to rent a car? And the answer is yes or no, just really depends. So what are some of the times when I really don't need the coverage? Well, if you have a personal auto policy with adequate coverage, you shouldn't have to purchase the rental car insurance. What I mean is, do you have a comp and collision deductible? In other words, you have property coverage that's there to protect you in case the vehicle is damaged. And then there's their liability coverage that's there in the event that you hurt someone and that they're injured, or there's property that's injured or damaged. Then at that point, you would obviously have the coverage from your current rental policy. There are some other times when you don't need the coverage. You might actually have coverage through your credit card. And that's something that not a lot of people know, but have a conversation with your credit card company or look into the website and see what you can find out. But there are a lot of times when a credit card will offer coverage when rented with that car, they specifically require you to waive the coverage options from the rental car company. So look at that closer. But if you've got a good credit card and you're using that to rent the car, obviously then you wouldn't have to purchase the rental insurance from the company. So Craig, when are the times when yes, you should consider using the rental car's coverage? Well, one would be if you have liability only on your vehicle. At that point, you're only protected if you hit somebody, but any damage to the vehicle would not be covered, and that would be sometime that you look closer at it. But ironically, COVID has had an impact on the rental car industry, and here's how. Supply and demand. I recently had a client that rented a vehicle while on vacation, and the windshield was damaged pretty significantly. So when the car was returned, it was drivable. The car itself was perfectly fine, but the windshield made it where it couldn't be rented. Well, there are coverages that rental car companies oftentimes don't cover you against, and those instances are what they would call loss of use coverage. And that is, hey, we've got a vehicle that we can't rent right now because it's either been damaged in an accident or it's unavailable to be rented, and therefore we're losing income as a rental car company, so we're going to charge you for that. Some insurance carriers will cover you in those instances, and sometimes that they won't, but it is a reasonable charge if you've got a vehicle that's out there and can't be rented. And in the current economic situation that we're in with a significant shortage of rental cars, they're losing a lot of money on a daily and a weekly basis, and they may come back and try to charge you for that. A good carrier may fight that for you, but it is still something that they can charge you for. Another one is diminished value. So most of you, when you purchase a vehicle, you're going to go out and run a Carfax or a vehicle history report and see what's been done to that vehicle. And if it has been damaged in an accident, that'll show up on that report. So when the rental car company goes to take their car that has now been damaged and sell it, trade it, wholesale it out, that damage history report will show up, and they're not going to get as much for the car, and they may come back and try to charge you for that. So those are a couple instances. I was telling you about that client of mine. Their car was out of commission for a 6-month period. So that rental car company was trying to charge them for 6 months of loss of rents, and it was a lengthy discussion between the carrier and the insured and the rental car company to find out who was paying what charges. And those are some good conversations to have before you go on vacation or before you rent the car rather than after. So if you're using the vehicle for business use, obviously your personal auto policy is not going to cover it. But those are some instances when yes or no. The best advice I can give you is before you go on vacation, give a call to your agent, call Craig, call Mr. Insurance, and just ask some questions. We'll look at who your carrier is, what the coverage is, and make sure that we've answered it in the most appropriate way. We can also look at what kind of car you're renting and make sure that we're protecting you in the most adequate way so that we can be a good resource for you. That's the best information I can give you on rental cars. For more information or for more coverage explained, visit mrinsurance.net.